Most English learners make one small mistake that instantly makes them sound demanding instead of confident. They keep saying, I want, in every situation. I want water. I want help. I want information. But here is the problem. Native speakers almost never say it like this in normal conversations. So what should you say instead if you want to sound more natural and confident in English? Welcome back to the channel. If you want to speak English confidently in real-life situations, then this video is going to help you immediately. Today we are fixing a very common speaking habit that many learners don't even realize they have. Instead of using one basic phrase again and again, you will learn 3 simple upgrades that instantly make your English sound more polite, natural, and confident. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to use them in real conversations. The hidden problem with I want. Many English learners use the phrase, I want, almost everywhere because it feels simple and correct. If you translate from your native language, it often sounds completely normal. So naturally, people say sentences like, I want water, I want help, or I want information. Grammatically, these sentences are correct, so learners believe they are speaking good English. However, the problem is not grammar. The real problem is how the sentence sounds in real conversations. When native speakers hear, I want, it can sometimes sound too direct or demanding, especially in polite situations. It is not wrong, but it does not sound very natural in everyday communication. Think about a real-life situation. Imagine you walk into a cafe and say to the waiter, I want coffee. The waiter will understand you, but the sentence feels a little robotic and slightly demanding. Native speakers usually soften their language to sound more friendly and polite. Instead of saying, I want coffee, they might say something like, I'd like a coffee. Sometimes they say, can I have a coffee? Or, could I get a coffee? Notice something important here. The meaning is exactly the same, but the tone becomes more natural and respectful. This is one of the biggest differences between textbook English and real conversational English. Textbooks often teach correct grammar, but real communication depends a lot on tone, politeness, and natural phrasing. The good news is that fixing this habit is actually very easy. You do not need to learn complicated grammar or difficult vocabulary. You just need a few simple upgrades that native speakers use every day. 3 simple upgrades that instantly improve your English. Now that you understand why constantly saying, I want, can sound too direct, the next step is learning what native speakers say instead. The good news is that you don't need dozens of new phrases. Just 3 simple upgrades can immediately make your English sound more natural, polite, and confident in everyday situations. The first and most common upgrade is, I'd like. This is one of the safest and most natural phrases you can use in English. Imagine you are ordering food at a restaurant. Instead of saying, I want a sandwich, you can say, I'd like a sandwich. Notice how the sentence suddenly sounds softer and more polite. Native speakers use this phrase all the time when ordering food, requesting something, or asking for services. It keeps your sentence clear but also respectful. The second upgrade is, can I have? This phrase is extremely common in daily conversations, especially when you are requesting something in a casual situation. For example, if you are at a cafe, you can say, can I have a cappuccino? If you are at home, you might say, Can I have some water? This structure sounds friendly and natural because it feels more like a request instead of a demand. The third upgrade is, could I get? This phrase is very popular in modern English, especially in restaurants, stores, and service situations. For example, instead of saying, I want a menu, you can say, could I get the menu? Or instead of saying, I want help, you might say, could I get some help? This phrase sounds polite, confident, and very natural in real-life conversations. Now notice something important. All three phrases have the same meaning as, I want, but the way they sound is completely different. Instead of sounding demanding, your English now sounds polite, smooth, and confident. These small upgrades might look simple, but they make a huge difference in how people perceive your English. Native speakers often judge fluency not just by vocabulary or grammar, but by how naturally you express everyday requests. The real conversation upgrade. Now let's look at a real-life situation so you can clearly see the difference between basic English and natural English. Imagine you walk into a cafe and you want to order something. A learner might say, I want a coffee. The sentence is correct, and the staff will understand it, but it sounds a little direct and mechanical. Now listen to the upgraded version. Instead of saying, I want a coffee, you say, I'd like a coffee, please. Immediately the sentence sounds smoother and more polite. The meaning is exactly the same, but the tone feels much more natural in conversation. Let's look at another example. Imagine you are in a store and you need assistance. A learner might say, I want help. Again, it is understandable, but it feels a bit demanding. Now upgrade the sentence and say, could I get some help, please? This version sounds friendly and confident, and it matches how native speakers usually speak. Here is one more everyday situation. Imagine you are sitting at a restaurant and you need the menu. Instead of saying, I want the menu, a natural speaker would say, can I have the menu, please? Notice how the sentence now feels like a polite request instead of a command. This is the real secret of confident English speaking. It is not always about using difficult words or complicated grammar. Very often, it is about small upgrades in everyday sentences that make your communication sound natural and respectful. Once you start replacing I want with phrases like I'd like, can I have, and could I get, your English instantly becomes more fluent in real conversations. People will feel more comfortable talking with you because your sentences sound natural and polite. Make this upgrade your speaking habit. Now the most important step is not just understanding these phrases, but actually using them in your daily English conversations. Many learners watch lessons, understand the idea, and then go back to their old speaking habits. If you want real improvement, you need to start replacing I want with these upgraded phrases whenever you speak. A simple way to build this habit is by practicing with everyday situations in your mind. Imagine you are ordering food. Instead of thinking, I want pizza, train your mind to say, I'd like a pizza. If you need something in a store, instead of thinking, I want help, practice saying, could I get some help? This small mental training slowly changes the way you speak. Another powerful method is to practice short real-life sentences. For example, say sentences like, I'd like a glass of water. Can I have the bill, please? Or, could I get some information about this? When you repeat these types of sentences a few times, they start feeling natural and automatic. Remember, confident English is not built by learning hundreds of difficult words. It is built by mastering simple phrases that native speakers use every day. When you upgrade small sentences like this, your overall communication becomes smoother, more polite, and much more confident. So from today, challenge yourself with one small rule. Stop saying, "I want," in polite situations and start using these upgraded phrases instead. The more you practice them, the more natural your English will sound. And once you make this small change, you will notice something interesting. People will respond to you more positively because your English will sound more natural, respectful, and confident. That is the power of small language upgrades. So, today you learned a very simple but powerful upgrade for your English speaking. Instead of repeatedly saying, "I want," you can now use natural phrases like, "I'd like," "Can I have," and "Could I get." These small changes may look simple, but they can make a big difference in how confident and natural your English sounds in real-life conversations. The key is practice. The more you start using these phrases in everyday situations, the more automatic they will become. And when small improvements like this become habits, your English fluency grows much faster. Keep improving one small skill at a time, and very soon you will notice that speaking English feels easier, smoother, and far more confident. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button so more learners can discover this lesson. Share this video with a friend who wants to improve their English speaking skills. Comment below and tell me one sentence you can make using "I'd like," "Can I have," or "Could I get." If you want to speak English more confidently with simple real-life lessons, make sure to subscribe. Also press the bell icon so you never miss the next powerful English speaking lesson. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.